Armenian government appoints Catholicoses. The power shift that occurred in Armenia, following Armenia's first president Levon Ter-Petrosyan's resignation in 1998, brought no significant improvement to the rule of law. Election fraud remained the authorities' key tool of longevity. Ter-Petrosyan's administration had interfered with the Catholicoses election of 1995, making sure Karekin I ascended to the throne. Robert Kocharian's administration also interfered, thus securing the election of Karekin II in 1999.
It was no secret that President Levon Ter-Petrosyan and his government were openly advocating the candidacy of His Holiness Karekin II Sargsyan, Catholicos of the Great House of Cilicia. It was also no secret that members and representatives of the government were actively campaigning for his election.
Said Dr. Denis Papazian, Professor Emeritus at University of Michigan Dearborn, the Grand Commander of the Knights of Vartan, an international fraternal leadership and service organization of Armenian men. Papazian, who was a delegate during the election of both Karekin I and Karekin II, approached a government official to query why the government had taken a position in the election.
Most of the delegates,
the government official replied,
are good but simple people. Few of them know any candidate other than their own primate. These are important times for the Armenian people. We have a free and independent Armenia, but we have many problems. Why should not the President of the Republic and Armenia's chosen leaders give advice and counsel to those delegates who are not familiar with the candidates and their backgrounds? These issues need to be explained, so that the delegates can be enlightened when they vote. It is not a question of pro or anti-government, it is a question of what is best for the church.
However, in the case of the 1995 election, Dr. Papazian and others who shared the same concern decided against whistleblowing, simply because the government's choice, Karekin I, coincided with theirs. Thus, thanks to the government's efforts and the complicity of the delegates, Karekin II, Catholicos of the Great House of Cilicia, became Karekin II, Catholicos of all Armenians. His path was also smoothed over by his successor Archbishop Karekin Nersesyan's withdrawal from the race. While this act was praised in some media outlets as selfless and magnanimous, the future Catholicos was forced to withdraw from the race by the National Security Service, the successor of the Soviet KGB in the Independent Republic of Armenia, which had material evidence in relation to his personal life that could seriously discredit him and end his clergy career. Other irregularities observed by Dr. Papazian during both 1995 and 1999 election were as follows.
First, the size of the delegations was based on estimates of the Armenian population of the various dioceses, not on baptized church and parish members. And secondly, as noted, the majority of the delegates seem to have been appointed.
The government's involvement in the 1999 Catholicoses election process was met by a group of clergy with fierce opposition.
Recent observations show that the Armenian authorities at the highest level have come to a consensus in favor of one candidate, and are trying to install him on the throne.
However, their opposition failed to change the course of the events. Hranush Karatian, an ethnographer and a member of the Armenian Civil Initiative pre-parliament, also pointed out the fact of the delegates being appointed, rather than elected.
The delegates were elected with the consideration that they should agree. It was done on purpose. That is to say, it was a lie, that delegates were elected, they were appointed.
Karatian pointed out the unrealistic number of delegates from Russia.
There turned out to be 101 delegates from Russia, which implied the existence of over 2.5 million Armenians, which was a lie.
During the pre-election period, Hranush Karatian publicly criticized the flawed Catholicos election process, calling for immediate reforms.
I was often raising the issue that it was impossible to continue like this, to call something an election, which has nothing in common with election.
Another delegate, who has chosen to remain anonymous, confirmed the fact of the government's interference with the election process.
I knew, and everyone knew that the government was interfering.
Robert Kocharian's administration picked Archbishop Karekin Nersesyan as the Armenian government's choice of the Catholicos of all Armenians. However, despite being the government's favorite, Archbishop Karekin Ner became a target of bitter criticism in printed media.
They discredited him a good deal and requested postponement of the election by a week, by a month, because the atmosphere was such that it was impossible to hold an election there. But they didn't do it, because everything had already been organized,
said the anonymous delegate. This delegate was yet another source, confirming Louise Manoogian-Simone's allotment of $3 million to secure the election of Karekin II by bribing both lay and clergy delegates. Vasgen Sargsyan, then Armenia's prime minister, who was in charge of the funds, was also reported to have resorted to excessive violence against delegates in pursuit of his goal to bring Archbishop Karekin Ner to the throne. This topic will be covered in a later article. As for the election fraud, said anonymous delegate described it as follows.
Not that votes were falsified, everyone was under pressure. Everyone knows that. We were there. There were people from the KGB. Because they were the ones who were exerting pressure. They would go to Echmiadzin every day.
On the election day, October 27, 1999, against the general rule of the Armenian Apostolic Church, according to which none other than lay and clergy delegates may be present in the voting area, there were numerous National Security Service agents and government representatives. They were occasionally using cell phones, which is a violation of the church rule of no communication with the outside world. Aram Sargsyan, Vasgen Sargsyan's brother, who was a lay delegate during the 1999 Catholicos election, was also seen using his phone during the voting. Judging by the sudden unusual activity of the government officials and agents during the voting, the anonymous delegate later concluded that Aram Sargsyan and other government agents were notified of the parliament shooting, which claimed 8 parliamentarians and government officials' lives. The terrible news of the parliament shooting was announced only after Archbishop Karekin Ner's victory had been secured, and he had been announced the new Catholicos of all Armenians. Had they broken the news of Vasgen Sargsyan's death before the end of the voting, the Catholicos of all Armenians might have been a different person today. Many of the delegates had been intimidated, threatened or bribed personally by Vasgen Sargsyan to vote for Karekin Ner. With brotherly love, for information, Masrab Mutafian, the 9th of November, 2000. Armenian Patriarchate. Istanbul, November 3, 2000, number 3848. His Holiness Karekin II, Supreme Patriarch, and Catholicos of all Armenians, Holy See of Echmiadzin, Armenia. Dear Holiness, a while ago by indirect means, sometimes even by way of Jerusalem, we have received your correspondences dated May 6, number 1002, and 16, number 1060, June 30th, number 1387, August 4th, number 1630, 11, number 1669, and 14, number 1695, and September 13th, number 1858, and lately also, October 6, number 2001, 7, number 2003, and 17, number 2071. Specifically for Istanbul Armenians in these grave days, we have neither time nor desire to deal with issues that do not have direct relevance with our patriarchal see. However, there are a few points that we would wish to bring to your Holiness's attention. 1. From correspondence number 1002, May 6, and number 1669, August 11th, it is evident that you relate with patriarchal sees as diocesan prelacies, which is contrary to the Armenian Apostolic Church's age-old traditions, as well as the dispositions of October 22, 1925 bylaws, Article 5, June 19, 1945 bylaws, Article 5, 6, 9b and 19, September 21, 1995 Constitutional Outline, Articles 6, 7, 21, and the introduction of the Internal Diasporan Bylaws, officially registered in the Republic of Armenia on December 11, 1991. The Catholicos must not write letters of interference regarding the boundaries of a patriarch's authority. The boundaries of patriarch and primate, prelate are historically not identical, nor are they synonymous. 2. Regarding the visit to be made to the Vatican, number 1696 and number 2002. We are wholeheartedly in agreement and supportive of you, when you pursue the renewal and strengthening of our church's ties with sister churches. However, the receipt of remains of Saint Gregory the Illuminator seemed inexplicable to us. In Antiochus, Jerusalem and Constantinople, Saint Gregory's remains are kept in special and historic cabinets. We are certain that you have the remains of the Father of our faith in the Holy See's treasury. Why take a step which is going to be incomprehensible for the masses? Is the Armenian Church going to receive the remains of its first official pontiff from Rome? Will there not be writers emerging in the future, who will hasten to remind us that even the remains of the Holy Illuminator, laid in the foundation of the Yerevan Mother Cathedral, consecrated during the 1700th anniversary, were made available by the Roman Pope? Should there not perhaps have been consultation with the bishops, or at least with the enthroned heads of the patriarchal sees? 3. There is another issue related to the Roman papacy. In a few days you are leaving for Rome, and to date we have not received information as to what you are going to sign with the Roman Pope. It is essential to remember that any document, which has not been agreed to, by any lawful body of the Church in the first place, will not have any canonical confirmation and will be judged in the category of pontifical personal correspondence, just as indeed occurred with your predecessor of blessed memory in the case of his signed document with the same Pope, John Paul XXIII. 4. You have been Catholicos for 1 year already and you don't have to take advantage of the Interior Diaspora Bylaws, Article 5, 68, in order to prove your authority. The way of terminating a diocesan primate, prelate is also important. Today, His Holiness the Pope himself does not have the right to suddenly terminate a bishop he chooses from his position. The Catholicos of all Armenians must also be guided by the prevailing rule of order and tradition. In similar cases, the accusation brought against the dismissed primate, prelate must be clear and evidential, a review board must be formed, the subject accused must be given the opportunity for self-defense, and then the outcome must be made public. 5. We were taken by surprise on October 9, when we received your fax, dated October 7, number 2003, to which was attached a new list of Supreme Spiritual Council members, without any additional information. A few days later, this time there was an announcement from the Holy See's press office, according to which it was declared that new members of the Supreme Spiritual Council had been appointed at the pontifical discretion. According to June 19, 1945 bylaws, Article 7, and September 21, 1995 Constitutional Outline, Article 117, the Supreme Spiritual Council is the Church's highest executive authority and is elected by the National Representative Assembly. In the 1995 National Representative Assembly, it was clearly stated that in order for the Supreme Spiritual Council to have confirmation and authority, its members must be called to office by election. With regard to the current Supreme Spiritual Council, there was absolutely no need to make any changes in its body until the next meeting of the National Ecclesiastical Representative Assembly. Your predecessor of blessed memory, too, had done so already. Changes, or new appointments, if you considered them so essential, you could have done in consultation with the current members of the Supreme Spiritual Council, or at least with the chairing patriarchs. That did not happen either. Now a question arises. What is the standard for becoming a member of the Supreme Spiritual Council? Simply being appointed by the Catholicos. That would be acceptable only in the instance that the Supreme Spiritual Council were just an advisory body of the Catholicos of all Armenians, Internal Diaspora Canon, Article 3, 25. And if we were going to be governed by this disposition, then why is the new list with the inclusion of the 12 diasporan Armenians in contradiction to the Internal Diaspora Canon Article 29? As regards the Patriarch's participation, the dispositions of the 1945 and 1995 bylaws are more than clear. The Patriarchs are not appointed to any office by the Catholicos, they either preside over or chair certain meetings ex officio. 6. Outside of your immediate entourage, what do Armenians dispersed the world over think about the Church, the Holy See and their Apostolic Pontiff? The overwhelming majority does not read the press office good news releases and follows the television programs with doubt and sharp criticism. The serious socio-economic issues, the Church is the people motto's practical insolvency, the Church's and clergy's financial extravagances and vanity, the significant incommunicability of the medieval form, modus operandi, and self-expression, and, specifically, the immoral and unsuccessful condition of the spiritual mission are serious proofs that demand immediate research. There are yet issues of concern regarding Antelius Edgmiat's and interrelations, interchurch and interfaith relations, church-state interrelations. Relative to the above and other instances, we are always ready to discuss with you, and we propose that on a convenient occasion when you are in Europe, perhaps only the three of us, the enthroned heads of the Holy See of Edgmiadzin, Holy Jerusalem and Constantinople come together for a consultation. Praying for the Lord's godly blessing upon you, the Pontiff, and the Brotherhood of the Holy See, we remain in humble prayer. With brotherly love in Christ, Mesrab Mutafian. Armenian Catholicoi, dethroned. The long history of the Armenian Apostolic Church, established in 301 AD, is full of tumultuous pages. Plots, intrigues, anti-patriarchs, exiles, poisoning, treason, corruption, usurpation, resignations and depositions in the Armenian Church have left indelible marks on the history of the Armenian people. Contrary to common belief, at least 15 times the Supreme Patriarch's throne has been vacated by means other than death. These Catholicoi either resigned, or were deposed. The first of 132 Catholicoi to resign was Christopher II Apahuni, in 630. The last resignation occurred 1,200 years later, when Yapram I of Zoragag resigned in 1830. 5 Catholicoi have been deposed, 2 of whom had usurped the throne. However, there have also been Catholicoi, such as Stephanos I of Dwin, 780-790, and Hovhannes VI Medzarbaro, 1203-1221, who had usurped the seat, but were never deposed. Below is a list of the Catholicoi of the Armenian Apostolic Church, who left the patriarchal throne either voluntarily or forcibly. 27th Catholicos, Christopher II Apahuni, resigned in 630. 29th Catholicos, Nerses III of Ishkan, resigned in 652. 55th Catholicos, Vahan I Sunni, deposed in 969. 58th Catholicos, Sarkis I of Svan, resigned in 1019. 63rd Catholicos, Grigor III Palavuni, resigned in 1166. 66th Catholicos, Grigor V Kar of Edge, deposed in 1194. 71st Catholicos, Constantine II Pronagords, deposed in 1289. 76th Catholicos, Jacob II of Tarsus, forced to resign in 1341, restored in 1355. 84th Catholicos, Grigor VIII Konzogat, usurped the see in 1411, deposed in 1418. 87th Catholicos, Grigor IX Musabegian, resigned in 1441. 88th Catholicos, Kyriakos I of Iraq, resigned in 1443. 92nd Catholicos, Sarkis II Educator, resigned in 1484. 100th Catholicos, David IV of Vagar-Shapat, resigned in 1629. 117th Catholicos, David V Gorganian, usurped the see, deposed in 1807. 119th Catholicos, Yeprem I of Zoragag, resigned in 1830. Who is next? The precedence of these resignations and depositions is an indication that death is not the only answer when a Catholicos is unfit to serve the people in the Church. Today, there are sufficient grounds to demand that Karekin II, the 132nd Catholicos of all Armenians, resign or be deposed. 1. Karekin II has usurped the patriarchal seat by intimidating and bribing delegates with the help of the Armenian government and wealthy donors. 2. Karekin II has mismanaged and illegally misappropriated property belonging to the Church and the faithful. 3. Karekin II has unlawfully defrocked numerous clergy in violation of the Armenian Church canons. 4. Karekin II has condoned election fraud and usurpation of power by Robert Kocharian and Sir Sargsyan. Details at www.thetruthmustbetold.com. It is high time Karekin II, the current Catholicos, make history by becoming the first Catholicos of all Armenians of the 21st century to abdicate office. Karekin II may hope to get away with his misdeeds, like Catholicos Stephanos I of Dwin, who bribed his way to the throne 1219 years ago, and was never deposed. But the Armenian people must not allow the history to repeat itself, with the perpetrator going unpunished. Karekin II must either become the 11th Catholicos to resign, or the third usurper, to be deposed.
Փարիգուն հարնագիցներ, ինչպես որ տեսար, այսօր երեք հատնութեր ցուցենք, որ առաջինը պատգամավորները եւ անձերը, որ վկայային 1999 թվականից հոկտեմբեր 27-ին եւ ինչ կատարվեց այն օրը եւ մինչեւ ընտրությունը, երկրորդն ալ, ինչպես որ տեսար, Իստանբուլին պատրիարքը նամակ գրել է Գարեգին II-ին, որ բացատրեց իր սխալները առաջին տարվա մեջ, իր առաջին տարին որպես կաթողիկոս, եւ վերջինը ինչպես որ նոր ներկայացուցել ենք, որ հանելը, որ ես շատ լսած եմ, որ ինչպես կրնաս հանել կաթողիկոսին, եթե արդեն անցյալ կաթողիկոսները հաներ են նույն բաժարներով, մենք ալ պետք է նույն ճանապարհը ընտրենք եւ հետևենք այս հարցը եւ լուծենք այս հարցը։ Ես այս ուղիղ եթերը ես կհրավիրեմ ցեզ ձեր կարծիքները փաշանել մեր հետը 818 547 3668 եւ մինչեւ այդ եթե մեկը կցանկանա զանգել կարող զանգել ես կուզեմ ամիջապես խոսենք հիմա Գարեգին II-ին հետ որ հավանաբար պիտի տեսնա այս ծրագիրը որտեղ մենք մեր ծրագիրները YouTube-ի վրա կգտնենք եւ մամուլին տալիս ենք այս ծրագիրները Karekin II ժամանակի եկավ արդեն որ դուք իսկապես պետք է կամ հրաժարվես կամ մենք պետք է հանենք քեզ աթորեն որովհետեւ ծեր ռածները իսկապես ընդունելիք չէ մենք մեր հավատքը ինչպես որ ես քրիստոնյա եմ եւ կնկված եմ եկեղեցին մեջ եւ ուրիշներ հազարավոր միլիոնավոր հայեր կան որ քրիստոնյա են եւ մեր եկեղեցին անդամ են մենք մեր հավատքին ճշմարտությունը պետք է տեսնանք մենք պետք է հասկանանք որ մեր եկեղեցին է ոչ թե ծեր սեփական ապրանքն է ինչպես որ արդեն փաստերով կերևա որ կփորձես դառնալ սեփական ծեր օգուտին ծեր ընտանիքին օգուտին ծեր ընկերներուն օգուտին եւ այլն ինչ որ մենք ներկայացուցել ենք մինչև հիմա միայն մի մասն է շատ բաներ կան շատ նյութեր ունենք եւ փաստեր ունենք ծեր մասին Karekin II որ հավանաբար պետք չունենք ներկայացնել եւ տուն մարտավայրի ցևով պիտի իջնես աթորեն, որտեղ այդ աթորը վաճառքի չէ, ապրանք չէ, որ կրնա փողով առնես, ծեր եւ ծեր ընկերները, որ օգներեն քեզ այդ աթորը առնելու 1999 թվականին, իսկապես ընդունելիք չէ, եւ մենք պետք է ընտրություն ունենանք, նոր ընտրություն, հիմա մի քանի մզանք եկավ, ես պատասխանեմ, տեսնանք, Փարիրիգուն, հրամեցեք, բարև ձեզ,
ուրեմն այսպես, ես կարող եմ ասեմ, որ կաթողիկոսը մեր ամբողջ ազգային ժողովի գնդագարությանը նայել է մասնակցել 100%-ով, քանզի այն ժամանակ ծերծակցանը գտնում էր իրենց մոտ, իսկ եմ ուստերիկան է չգիտեմ որտեղներ են, Քոչարյանը, սրանք բոլորը հանցագործներ են, բոլորը, նա ընտրվել է կերծիկներով, այո, կերծիկներով անանտերը, խապելով, սրանք ամբողջ երկիրը ինքը դրանց հետ միասին թալանում է մեր երկիրը, նրանց հետ էլ պալատներ, էլ ինչեր, դեր ասում էլ երեխեք ունի բանուն, եսին ենքան բաներ են խոսում, որ զայմանած կարից է, որ միայն ես կաթողիկոսը, նրանից առաջ թե ինչ-որ մենք ճանաչում ենք, նրանք իսկապես որ սրբազաններ են եղել, իսկապես որ հայոց կաթողիկոսներ են եղել, իսկ ես սաստերիկը խուժանա, գող, ավազակ, թալանչի, ամեն ինչ նրա վրա կա, շնորհակալություն։
Այո, շնորհակալություն։ Փարիրիգուն, հրամեցեք։
Ալո։
Այո, խնդրեմ։
Ալո։
Խնդրեմ, խոսեք։ Տելևիզորի ցանի իջեցուր, որ լսեք։
Ես ցայնս։
Հա, խնդրեմ։ Ուղիղ եթերը։ Այո, խնդրեմ։
Ես ներողություն, սկիզբեն չէի դիտացել այս պրոգրամը։ Հիմա միայն ուզեմ գիտնալ, որ դուք ով եք եւ ինչ է ձեր։
Այո, իմ անունս, այո, խնդրեմ։ Անունս Արամ Մանուկյանն է եւ այս մեր ծրագիրն է, որ մենք կփորձենք ներկայացնենք ճշմարտությունը եւ ինչպես որ մենք ներկայացրել ենք խախտված ընտրություն եղել է կաթողիկոսի խախտված ընտրությունը, որ Գարեգին Բ-ը արավ այս ընտրությունը, հիմա մենք պետք է աշխատենք, որ իրեն աթորեն հանենք եւ ճիշտ ընտրություն ունենանք եւ ճիշտ կաթողիկոս ունենանք, որ մեզ համար կծառայի ոչ թե իր անձնական շահերը։ Այնպես։ Հրամեցեք։ Հրամեցեք։ Բարև։ Բարև ձեզ։
Հարաբանական շաշնակալ եք քեզանից, որտեղ արտորտեն կողմնես։ Մեր բաժանորդագիր գա, որ անտար ռեգլամանում այդ Գարեգինի նկար թողանեն տրավանես, զեզում են, որ նաղում եք տրայերեսին, էլի։ Խոսես այդ բանը թերտնա, որ ռեգլամաս մահարեք, տարին $40 մուծեք։ Ափսոս չի $40 տանք այդ Գարեգինի զզվալի նկարին նայենք, խնդրում եմ հանեք այդ նկարը, եթե ուզում եք առնենք։
Եղավ, մերսի, անպայման կհանձնարարենք ձեր ասածը։ Փարիրիգուն, հրամեցեք։ Բարև ձեզ։ Կրնաս խոսիլ, այո։
Արամին հետ խոսիլ ես։
Այո։
Ուրեմն հարցս է դերյարն է, Untitled հաղորդման ժամանակ գիշակ մնաց մեր հարցազրույցը։ Դուք մեկնարկեցիք, որ Վասկեն Սարգսյանը պետական անվտանգության, այսինքն Մոսկվայի գործակալն է, այդպես է։
Ես չգիտեմ, փաստորեն չգիտեմ, բայց հնարավոր է։ Իհարկե։
Հնարավոր է, ես չեք գիտեր փաստորեն 100% ինչու, եթե դուք բոլոր ամբողջ ժողովրդի առաջ այդպես հայտարարություն։
Չէ, ցուն հարցուցիր, եթե ինքը այնպես է, ես ասի որ հնարավոր է։
Ոչ, դուք պետք անվտանգության աշխատողը։
Չէ, ցուն հարցուցիր։ Եղավ։ Փարիրիգուն հրամեցեք։
Ալո, բարև ձեզ։
Բարև ձեզ։
Մանուկյան, այս հեռախոսի համարը ձեր համարն է։
Չէ, այս տելևիզորին համարն է, բայց եթե պետք է խոսելու, կրնամ ցեզ հետո հեռացանեմ։
Իմ թիվը գրված է։
Այո, ունեմ։ Եղավ, մերսի։ Ահա։ Եղավ։ Եվ այնպես, դժբախտաբար մեր ժամը սպառվել է եւ մինչև մյուս շաբաթը մենք պետք է նորեն ներկայացնենք որոշ բաներ, բայց հիմա ժամանակն է, որ մենք սկսենք աշխատենք այս հարցը լուծելու։ Մինչև մյուս շաբաթը գիշեր բարի ձեզ։